Let's talk about it. Home buyer's remorse. Literally, you have people's mortgage payment going up by a couple $100 to a few $1,000s a month, and they feel finessed. Let's get into the clips.
Like, I didn't know that when I was building a home that I was just gonna have to pay taxes off the land, and then when the home is actually built, then you got to pay taxes on the actual home and the land, which increased my mortgage by $3,000. I didn't know that. So now my mortgage is increased by $3,000 from what I'm currently paying. And plus you still got all these other expensive and stuff like that. I don't knock buying a home. I think the goal should always still buy a home, but you should be prepared to know what's to come. Like I say, if they would have told me like, hey, your tax is gonna be based off of this number instead of this number in a year, no, that wouldn't have changed my decision. I still would have moved forward. But if they would have told me that, I would have been prepared and not, look in the mail and be like, bro, who this for? You feel me? Who is this for? I know y'all ain't trying to increase my mortgage. And then the thing like that is like, you know, it's just, it's aggravating because it's like, bro, you think I'm just about to allow you to bully me? I feel like I'm like y'all trying to bully me. Like, you think you just about to just get 3,000 extra out of me and no say so. But come to find out, this is how this junk is. So I wish I would have just known a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it wouldn't have changed my decision at all to build a home at all. I'm still thankful, thank the Most High that He, blessed me and my family to be able to do so. I'm not complaining or anything like that. I'm very thankful, but I just wish I would have more prepared to that. But at the end of the day, it really don't matter because guess what? The house gonna be paid off. Like I say, I would never be victim of a situation. I'll always be a victor of anything. So they can try to increase whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter because guess what? The house about to be paid off anyways. So it really don't matter. But for the people that don't know, if you buy a home, make sure that you got all that information in place, the taxes, all that stuff, what the house gonna be. Make sure you know all that stuff going into it so you can be prepared, and not be shocked when you look in the mail and be like, who the fuck? And then also the escrow, you got to know what's going on with the escrow, because if your escrow is short, now you got to pay this shortage thing that increase your mortgage as well. So if you could pay extra inside your escrow, make sure you could pay extra. Make sure you do so. If you just paying what's, what the mortgage company got you set up with, 9 times out of 10, when that when your taxes and stuff go up, that escrow gonna go up and it's gonna cause a shortage. So be prepared for that. Just get educated all the way around with the buying experience. Just be educated, so you can be prepared when you buy your home, purchase your home, build your home, whatever the case is. So pay attention to the taxes, the escrows. If you're in the HOA community, whatever the case is, just be prepared, But that's not stopping us from buying and purchasing and building, nothing like that. Still build and buy and purchase. Let's go.
I definitely like his attitude and approach to the situation. I mean, most people would have been irate and highly upset, and rightfully so. Again, you would think that these are the type of things that they would be teaching in high school, college, instead of trying to get you to take pre-calculus and algebra and y equals mx plus b. Learning these type of practical things so you would be aware. Just imagine you sign up for a house, you think you're paying $3,000 a month. Next thing you know, 6 months later or what have you, you get a notice in the mail from the mortgage company, and now you're paying you go from 3,000 to $4,500 a month. That could, in some cases, financially ruin some people. All because not having the proper understanding or knowledge and knowing that the builder, you got to be real careful with these new constructions. Not only are these new constructions, they throwing these things up, any type of old materials. Um, the people putting the buildings together are not skilled. So now you're getting a crappy and shitty house where a few years down the line, you think you got a brand new house and you're going to be good. Things that should be breaking and leaking, and things that should not be going wrong with the house are because it was poorly crafted. Not only that, now you gotta make sure that you're knowledgeable about the land tax, and once the house is actually built, on the tax, you understand that the taxes are going to be reassessed, and that's what could potentially cause an increase in your mortgage. Again, these are the things that we definitely should be mandatory learning in schools across America.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Listen, I wanted to wait until Tuesday to do an update, but some of y'all are not letting me down. Rightfully so, rightfully so. And I appreciate the engagement and all the questions and all the solutions. But I'm going to answer some of the most popular questions from this video. First and first, y'all want to know where I live. I live in Washington, D.C. I'm in DC, not in the DMV surrounding areas. I am in DC. Second big thing is she has an ARM. She has an ARM. She has an ARM. An ARM. I do not have an adjustable rate mortgage. I don't have an ARM. I have a fixed mortgage. My rate is fixed, right? Second thing is you should sell and move out, and I'm not gonna sell and move out. But I kind of have an idea of what's happening because this happened on Friday, y'all. I made some phone calls on Friday. It is Sunday. Monday's a holiday. I wanted to wait until Tuesday until I have everything cleared up to come back and tell y'all what exactly they're saying and what's happening. But in a nutshell, basically, I think they classified my property as a vacant property and not a residential property. But again, on Tuesday, when I call Department of Buildings and I call and I make some extra phone calls, I'll find out exactly what's going on. Buy your house. Buy your house. I've been to the closing table several times. I know about escrow. I know how it works. People are stitching, saying, "Oh, this is the big mistake that first-time home buyers make." I kind of like an escrow, y'all. I kind of like just bundling everything together and paying it out. But Tuesday, come back Tuesday. Well, engage with all my content and everything. Follow, like, share, do all that. But Tuesday,
It sounds like potentially this may be like the same, along the same lines as the previous clip. They had her house, as vacant. Again, like I said, this was a property that was fixed up and flipped, or it was vacant at a time. Then a builder came in and fixed it up. Again, you're going to have an issue with the property taxes being reassessed, and now you get that big jump in your mortgage. That's why if you ever buy a home, you never want to buy at the top of your budget. You never want to be house poor. You want to make sure you always give yourself cushion in the event something like this happens.
Grimes, how the hell did my payment go up $1,000? That's the first call I received this morning from an old client of mine. Sometime last year, she bought a new build property, and she went with the builder's lender for the incentives, right? Understandable. But what it looks like is that the builder's lender, shame on him or her, decided to go with the unimproved land tax, which is a lot less than what the actual tax quote was going to be with the actual structure being on the land. So this causes a shortage in the client's escrow account with the mortgage company. Mortgage company is paying the tax and the insurance. So they say, okay, well, this is what it's going to be. So we're having to cover it for you. So now we're going to increase your payment in order to make up the difference. That sucks. But there's nothing you can do about it. So here's what you can do. One, you can go ahead and have your homeowners insurance reviewed and shop it around a little bit to see if you can get a lower homeowners insurance policy. Especially here in Texas right now, a lot of people's homeowners insurance is doubling currently. And so if you can see if you can get that a little bit lower, that'll help out with that shortage that you have in your escrow account. And then you also would you want to go ahead and make sure you file for your homestead exemption in the state of Texas, or anywhere else, but especially in Texas, because you will save a nice little chunk of change on that homeowner's insurance. On that property tax. The good news is it probably won't be $1,000 that she's going to be increasing her payment by. Bad news is the payment's still going to increase because you're having to account for the property tax that wasn't paid and wasn't quoted to you. So, if you're buying a new build property and you're going with the new build lender or any lender, if they're trying to give you $300 property tax per month on a $600,000-$700,000 house, use your common sense. That's not real. It may feel good in the short period, but in the long term, it's going to piss you off when you get that letter from your mortgage company. Okay? You don't get any grace for ignorance. You got to think about it.
Very true statement what he said at the end. This is why it's also very important to make sure you have an experienced and skilled realtor, especially when it comes to buying new construction, because you can see in a lot of these clips, people are buying new construction homes, and that's where they're getting jammed up with this land tax once they take over the property and the property is reassessed. Like I said, he definitely gave some good gems there about applying for the homestead extension. The thing with home ownership is definitely great, but you have to go in this thing knowledgeable. You just can't go into it blind, and or else, I mean, you can enter in a situation where you could be really bankrupt yourself. Again, like I said, if your mortgage was to increase $2,000 or $3,000 a month, and you were just scraping by just to make the bare minimum, you'd be in some trouble.
So I'm starting my day. Um, I just got some crazy news. My mortgage just went from $4,500 to $6,050, and it'll be effective March the 1st. I have never considered a bank, but I got this black hat and this black mask because, I mean, at this point, like, what the fuck do you expect? I'm trying to keep my kids in decent schools. I'm trying to, I mean, what the fuck do you expect?
I'm not even mad at her. 4,500 to six bands a month got her contemplating throwing this ski mask on and hitting a lick. Um, 4,500 a month, that's definitely nothing to sneeze at. That's almost $60,000 a year. I mean, again, that's just the minimum payment. So to jump up another extra 1,500 per month, I mean, that is something diabolical. Again, like I said, you have to know what you're getting into when you're buying a home. I know, it's cool for social media, the ownership aspect, but it's a lot of things that come with home ownership that you have to be aware of. And one thing you want to make sure is you have financial reserves. You go into buying a house, four, five, $600,000. You want to make sure you have the proper financial reserves. So if something like this comes up, you give yourself some breathing room and you're not contemplating hitting a lick.
Notification that my mortgage is going up for 2025. I knew that this was going to be happening, but I have been dreading the day that it does happen. And when my husband walked in tonight with a huge stack of mail, I just knew that this was sitting in there. Basically, last year, our homeowners insurance non-renewed us, travelers. Hate you. They non-renewed us. They said that we needed a new roof. They were using satellite photos to look at our roof. Nothing wrong with our roof, according to the home inspector that inspected our home, that we had come out and re-inspect our roof, or the 3 roofing contractors that we called to get their professional opinion. Travelers Insurance basically said, nah, shove it. You need a new roof, and we're dropping you as customers. Unfortunately, that when they do that, it puts a bad rap on your name or whatever, like you're in probation almost. So we only have one singular homeowners insurance company right now that is willing to insure us, and it was to the tune of about $2,000 more than what we were paying, which is heartbreaking, but
A complete shakedown and a complete finesse. These insurance companies really need to be some type of regulation needs to put in place. I mean, they're literally just doing any and everything. We've seen what happened out there with the fires in California, dropping people 6 months prior. Again, these needs to be some type of regulation or tighter regulation in place for these insurance companies because they just do any and everything. Imagine taking some satellite image of your roof and them telling you that, okay, this is grounds for us to drop you, and then you're pretty much only left with one insurance company that will insure you. So you pretty much have to take it's either take this rate or leave it. You have no choice but to pay it. I mean, it's insane.
on a positive, we're allowed to have a trampoline without any additional cost incurred, which I guess is a win-win, right? And then our taxes went up in October. Coincidentally, just a few months after the community struck down a multi-million-dollar budget increase to the taxes. Community struck it down for a number of reasons, but primarily because every year for the past 4 years, taxes have increased in the town that I live in. I do live in New Hampshire. We are one of the highest tax states out there. though I'm sure someone's going to tell me that their taxes are higher. We don't have income tax or sales tax, so that has to be recuperated through the tax of properties. And no, our governor will not legalize certain plants and tax those as a way to help make up the difference. Instead, it gets brought down to people like myself and my husband. Fortunately, myself and my husband are employed. We're not on a fixed income. Unfortunately, a lot of people in my community and other communities are on fixed incomes, and they cannot afford these consistent tax increases. So this is pricing people out of their homes, but that's okay. We have developers coming in from other states to
You will own nothing and be happy.
build affordable housing, but the affordability is going to be affordable by like Boston and New York City standards. So it's going to cost you $3,600 for a one-bedroom apartment. Can you tell? Can you tell that I am passionate about this topic? Back to the escrow. The escrow increased by $860.77 over the course of the year. So monthly, that's only about a $70 increase. It's not terrible. I don't love it, but we can make adjustments to make that work in our budget. So it starts in February. Wish me luck.
The way things are going with this world, I try to tell people all the time, you have to have a partner. You have to have a teammate going in this world. Again, love is great. Love is good. You know, the butterflies you get in your heart is grand. But if you can't have someone or who can pull their weight financially, you got to stay far away from that type of individuals. Again, the world is only getting more and more expensive. Housing is absolutely out of control. I mean, it's getting to the point now where, I mean, you literally have to pretty much make, I mean, bare minimum $100,000 to $150,000 as a household to even be able to thrive, and that's depending upon what city that you're in. It's getting real spooky out here. Jobs are scarce. We got mass layoffs left and right. You got to choose wisely. But let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about people's mortgages increasing several $100s to several $1,000s a month? And in many cases, it was because of a lack of knowledge, whether it was the realtor not telling them. Many of these people were surprised when they received the letter in the mail with this increase. If this has happened to you, let me know in the comments below. I would like to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.